Even though Earth has been around for billions of years, humans have only been here for a fraction of that time, between 200 to 300,000 years. But during our time on Earth, we've left behind some mysterious things that puzzle scientists in the field of archaeology. From strange buildings to bizarre clothing, we're going to explore some amazing discoveries that shouldn't exist. In the ancient mosaic found in Palestrina, Italy, there's something unexpected: what looks like a dinosaur. It is one of the amazing discoveries in archaeology, featuring what looks like a dinosaur but is more likely a depiction of an otter, according to most experts. Especially since the area it represents, Nubia, is known for its large otters. So, while it's a fun idea, there's not enough evidence to support dinosaurs living alongside humans. Xardra, a mysterious fortified village nestled in the desert of Algeria, remains one of the most intriguing archaeological discoveries, puzzling researchers with its enigmatic purpose and remote location. Surrounded by vast dunes, the village is situated in the middle of nowhere, far away from any major population centers or trade routes. This raises questions about why anyone would choose to build a settlement in such an isolated location. Xardra was built with defense in mind. It features massive inner walls measuring 26 feet high and outer walls standing at 6.6 feet tall. These defensive structures suggest that the inhabitants were concerned about external threats and wanted to protect themselves. There are no clear records of archaeology explaining the village's purpose or the threats it faced. In this fort, there's a Jewish symbol on one wall, hinting that Algerian Jews might have lived there long ago, maybe to avoid discrimination or for quiet study. Before the 15th century, people weren't fully convinced that the Earth was round. Then, along came the Da Vinci globe. Now, globes are everywhere, but this one, made around 1502, was special because it was the first of its kind. It was crafted from the bottom halves of 2 ostrich eggs. People back then loved decorating with ostrich eggs because they were fancy and expensive. So, having a globe made from them would have been a big deal. This globe wasn't just any old map either, but it was one of the earliest maps to show the Americas accurately. Cool, right? The guy who owns the ostrich globe thinks it was made by Leonardo da Vinci himself. If that's true, it would be a huge deal. Some hints support this idea. The globe was found in Florence, where da Vinci lived, and the style of the engravings matches his. Plus, da Vinci mentioned making a globe in his writings. But not everyone is convinced. Some map experts say the engravings are too fancy for da Vinci's skill level, and he didn't talk enough about the Americas to suggest he'd make a whole globe to show them. So, it's still a bit of a mystery. In recent archaeology news, the discovery of a modern-made crystal skull challenges previous claims of Mayan craftsmanship and mystical properties. Mitchell Hedges' skull was supposedly found by this adventurous explorer's adopted daughter in a Mayan city back in the 1920s. This skull was made from clear quartz and was thought to show that the ancient Mayans were super skilled at carving stones. People even said it had magical powers, like curing diseases or making visions appear. But here's the twist. It turns out the whole story might be made up. The skull was bought at an auction in the 1940s and not found in a Mayan ruin. Plus, modern tests showed it was made with tools that didn't exist in ancient times. So, it's not ancient or magical after all, just a cool-looking artifact probably made in the 1930s. In the world of mysterious archaeology, finding a scared-looking mummy in a Peruvian tomb raises questions about ancient beliefs in rebirth and how people took care of their deceased loved ones. It was curled up and looked scared, like it was hiding its face. But there's a logical reason for it. People back then believed in reincarnation, so they buried the person in a fetal position to help them be born again easily. They wrapped the body in cloth and tied it up to stop it from falling apart. And guess what? It worked. The mummy stayed in great shape. So, instead of being creepy, it's a sign that the community cared for their ancestors and wanted to help them in the afterlife. Christopher Columbus gets all the credit for finding America, but Vikings beat him to it way back in the 11th century. This amazing archaeological find of the Maine penny challenges the traditional narrative of European exploration in the Americas. The coin called the Maine penny, found in Maine, proves it. It has a Viking king's face on it. But here's the twist. Most people think later Europeans brought it there, not the Vikings themselves. Among the 12 most mysterious and unexplained archaeological finds, some bizarre helmets make you scratch your head. For instance, The Japanese samurai helmet is shaped like an octopus. It might seem funny, but it was meant for protection and intimidation, showing off the wearer's status with its gold design. Then there's the helmet given to King Henry VIII, which looks downright silly with horns and weird features. It's hard to figure out why anyone would give such a strange gift to a powerful king like him. When we think of Vikings, we often picture tough, bearded warriors sailing the seas and worshipping Norse gods. But recent discoveries have revealed something surprising. Some Vikings might have been Muslims. Evidence like burial clothes with Islamic symbols and Arabic coins found in Viking settlements suggests a connection between Vikings and Muslims. One fascinating find was a ring discovered in a Viking woman's grave in Sweden. Made of rare colored glass, it had an inscription in Arabic that read, "For Allah." This suggests direct contact between Vikings and Muslims, maybe even indicating that the woman was one of the first Europeans to convert to Islam. Have you heard about the Holy Lance, also known as the Spear of Destiny? It's famous for supposedly piercing Jesus' side during his crucifixion and giving its owner the power to rule the world. But guess what? 4 relics claim to be parts of this legendary lance. One is said to be under a statue at St. Peter's Basilica, but the Catholic Church doesn't officially recognize it. Another is in Vienna, but it's been dated to a later period. There's also one in Armenia and another in Antioch, Turkey. The Antioch relic has a dramatic story attached to it, involving visions and battles during the First Crusade. But whether any of these relics are real or what happened to the original lance is still a mystery. Archaeological artifacts, such as the alleged fragments of the Holy Lance, offer tantalizing clues about historical events and religious beliefs. There's the tale of Russian President Vladimir Putin supposedly finding ancient vases underwater near Russian Atlantis. Turns out, it was all staged for publicity. Then, there's the legendary Ark of the Covenant, which holds religious significance. Some believe it's in Ethiopia, hidden away in a church, but verifying its existence is tricky. Lastly, we have the Nazca lines in Peru, ancient markings etched into the ground. They're mysterious and impressive, with theories ranging from astronomical purposes to being visible to gods. But the truth remains a puzzle. The artifacts found in these stories, whether it's ancient vases or the legendary Ark of the Covenant believed to be hidden in Ethiopia, continue to capture our imagination. There's the case of a man finding thousands of ceramic figurines in Mexico, which turned out to be fake. Then, there are recent archaeological finds, including a bear-shaped amber amulet found in Poland, bringing joy to the locals. Among the 12 most incredible recent archaeological finds is the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek device acting like a computer, predicting astronomical events.